Welcome, turd dumplings, to TP For Your Earholes. My name is Charlene Schmidt, and with me is...
Patrick Schmidt.
The other guy!
Yes, the other half of this duo, absolutely.
Today, we are talking about Beavis and Butt-head Do the Universe, the second of the Beavis and Butt-head movies.
And the most recent one.
Yeah! I'm super excited to get into this, but before we do that, let's do the housekeeping. Patrick, can you tell everybody how to connect with us and do all the internet things?
Yeah, we are on 4 different social media platforms. We are particularly Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook at TP For Your Earholes. Feel free to reach out there to keep up with our latest. And you can also follow us on YouTube. So don't forget to do all the YouTube things when you see us on YouTube, which means like, subscribe, bell.
The buttons.
You know how to do this by now. And also, we have a contact form on our website, tpforyourearholes.com. If you want to reach out to us directly, use that form. If nothing else, we'll see it come in, and if you're super nice, we'll even write back to you.
Especially if you're nice. If you're mean, it's trashed immediately.
Yes. And one more quick thing that we would love for our friends to do, and if you are listening to this, you're one of our friends.
Yeah.
The best way to let people know that this podcast is something that you enjoy is to write a review wherever you get your podcasts, and that'll help us a lot. The other thing you can do is good old-fashioned word of mouth. Tell people who like this show that this podcast exists, and we will be forever grateful.
Seriously, it does mean a lot when people do this. So if you've already done that, thank you. And if you haven't, please. If you love us, please.
Yeah, just this week, for the first time in a while, we saw TP For Your Earholes referred to in the wild. It was really cool.
Yes.
Where somebody we didn't know brought us up in a conversation, and that was really neat to see. So more of that, please.
That was a moment. It was so cool. Well, how about we jump in now? Let's talk about Beavis and Butt-head Do the Universe. It was released on Paramount Plus on June 23rd, 2022, more or less as a lead-in to the first episode of Mike Judge's Beavis and Butt-head, which aired August 4th, 2022. Now, this was not that long ago. It was only 3 years ago as of when we're recording this. Do you remember when we watched this for the first time?
You know, I remember that we watched it together.
We sure did.
We watched it in our living room on the couch.
Yes, our own Beavis and Butt-head setup.
Yeah, and I don't remember much beyond that. Do you?
I just remember being very excited when this whole thing was announced. I just never thought, one, that Beavis and Butt-head would be coming back in the 2020s. And, oh, we're also getting a movie? Well, that's cool. So I was just very excited that we were getting new content, and I was looking forward to whatever story was about to be told. I was really hardcore avoiding spoilers. I wanted to go in blank slate, just story, take me wherever you want to go. Let's see what you're made of.
And I remember one of my thoughts, and this is me being the real cynic, the real pessimist in me kind of came out, which was, here's a new Beavis and Butt-head movie. Awesome. Love it. Great. Hey, the world is a better place for it. And it's going straight to streaming.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
I remember that I had my expectations set really low because of that. Because this was not a theatrical release. I really came into looking at this movie as this is sort of for the fans, you know, for the true fans, the people who really do love this show and this series and these characters. They're going to find it, but it's not going to be the kind of thing that brings in a new audience. And I remember being a little disappointed in that.
Were you concerned at all that it wasn't a theatrical release?
Yes, I was. I was like, oh no.
Okay. In terms of like quality or just, okay, is this a massive stinking turd bomb? Is it going to ruin my love for Beavis and Butt-head? Like, were you at that level?
No, I don't think I was there. I was willing to give the movie a chance, for sure. Just like you, I was like, hey, no spoilers, story, let's go into this as unspoiled as possible, but I also remember thinking a lot, probably more than I should have, again, being really cynical, that if this was actually really good, it would have gone to the theaters first. And the fact that it didn't was, again, I think I set my expectations probably too low. I was expecting it to be, let's get into it because we haven't talked about this part of it yet. I was expecting it to be worse than it was.
Okay. So you went in with low expectations, as did I. However, I don't think the whole direct-to-streaming thing influenced my opinion as much as it might have for you, and maybe for the larger audience as well, because that usually is a red flag. However, this was 2022, and we're still coming back from COVID. And the movie industry is not what it once was pre-COVID, and I thought maybe there's things that happened that led to this being a direct thing. Maybe it's contractual stuff. It's a deal that Paramount Plus made. It could be a whole lot of things that we just simply do not know as an audience. I always have to try and check myself now with what might the behind the scenes reasons be, the business decisions that get made. Maybe they don't make sense to us, but maybe they make sense to the people doing that work. And so, I mean, I went in with low expectations, just thinking in the same way that I didn't have a whole lot of expectations for Beavis and Butt-head Do America. I was just like, I just want to enjoy the story and see it for what it is. But yeah, the fact that I could watch it in my living room as opposed to having to go to the theater, because I would have gone to the theater if it had been released.
Right.
We talked about this last week. It takes a lot to get me into the theater and deal with people. I thought, this is perfect for me. I get to enjoy this movie the day it comes out and I don't have to leave the house. This is ideal.
So you mentioned really wanting to let the story take you. What were your initial impressions of the movie in 2022 when it came out?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I think it has a lot of the same kind of beats that we love in Beavis and Butt-head Do America. But of course, we do have to take it on a bit of a different scale for it being a second movie. And we're not going to just do America. We're going to do the universe. We're going to go on a galactic scale. And look, if you would have ever told me that Beavis and Butt-head would successfully, and I say that in air quotes, go into space, I would genuinely wonder how, having not seen this movie. However, the docking maneuver makes tons of sense. I love that to death. But I do have to do my very best to ignore how completely implausible the rest of the story is with the black hole, and how that makes absolutely zero sense if you have just even the tiniest bit of astronomical knowledge. And so I have to set that aside because I'm not coming to Beavis and Butt-head for scientific accuracy. I'm really not. So I hold off on that, enjoy how the rest of the story plays out, and just see that as a means to an end.
Sure. I really do think that's the best way to look at it, because I think that's ultimately how I looked at it too, was you can't get caught up in the details of a Beavis and Butt-head movie or a Beavis and Butt-head episode or a Beavis and Butt-head anything, because that's not what it's about.
Right.
And I think at this point in 2022, my thought process is more along the lines of, hey, new Beavis and Butt-head, any new Beavis and Butt-head is better than no Beavis and Butt-head at all. So in that way, I was excited.
Yeah.
And I think that the movie, I'll put it this way, the movie lived up to that level of expectation.
Yeah.
Right? It was new Beavis and Butt-head, and it was on par with what we had seen before. Right? It didn't hurt the legacy.
No, not at all. Now, I do have a question. Do you think it would have been successful as a theatrical release?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot here.
I
because
am.
we're starting to get into what I think of the movie. And
Maybe let's do that first. We'll come back to this question.
well, and they're one and the same, which is I think the movie, like I said, didn't hurt the overall legacy of Beavis and Butt-head. Now, that said, we watched it in 2022. We rewatched it this week to prepare for the podcast. Those are the only 2 times I've watched it.
Mm.
I think that that's a sign, right?
Yeah.
That it didn't quite hit what I was hoping it would hit for me. But I also think that that's going back to another episode of TP for Your Earholes here. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was only on streaming.
Maybe so.
There isn't a physical copy that we can buy. And I think that's more in tune with my habits than it is about the quality of the movie. And I'm very, very aware of that. Like, I'm very self-conscious of that fact that the reason why I haven't rewatched it is not because I didn't enjoy it or because I didn't think it was good, but I'm not going out of my way to rewatch it. And I think they're two sides of the same coin.
Interesting. I don't fully disagree with you on that front, just because compared to Beavis and Butthead Do America, I have watched this movie more sparingly. And I hate to say it, but yeah, streaming is a part of that. Habits have changed, times have changed. But also, you know what? I'll answer my own question right now. I'm not sure how successful of a theatrical release it would have been. It is great as a streaming movie.
Yes.
Quality-wise, I'm not sure if they were ambitious enough with this one to justify a theatrical release. In the same way that Beavis and Butthead Do America step things up, the world is reimagined here, and story-wise, it does do some things. But in terms of things artistically and maybe with a little bit of star power, it's not the same. It's not.
Yeah. And I think you make a really good point here, which is it, I think, was setting the stage for the reboot.
That's what this movie is really supposed to do, right? It's not
Yes.
supposed to be a big box office hit.
Yeah, it's supposed to set the stage for we're back.
Yes.
Beavis and Butthead are back. Here's a movie to get you started, and then we're going to start with some episodes in a few weeks. In that way, I think it was very successful.
I agree very much, because what the movie does is it sets us up for how teenage Beavis and Butthead can exist in the 2020s. We have old Beavis and Butthead as well as smart Beavis and Butthead all coexisting now. We have opened the door to the Beavis and Butthead multiverse. And so on that scale, yes, it is grander. It is living up to the whole Do the Universe title. And it does hit all the beats that you'd expect out of a Beavis and Butthead movie. I mean, we get the potty humor, we have crazy shenanigans that Beavis and Butthead somehow miraculously survive each time. We get cornholio, and hey, we're traversing time and space. It lives up to the advertisement.
And it really did set up the reboot well. I mean, it visually, artistically, vision-wise, storytelling-wise, it really did give us a good idea of what was coming down the pike the rest of the way. And so a lot of credit is due in that way to this movie because it really did set the stage very well.
Yeah, I don't want people to think we're shitting on this movie, because I really do appreciate what it does to set us up for Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, but also gives us an hour and a half of just good old Beavis and Butthead shenanigans. It sets the tone, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have any favorite things about this movie that you particularly enjoy?
There were a lot of things that sort of jumped out in the rewatch that I had sort of forgotten about. But I think one of the things that has really stuck with me all the way from the original watch to now was the white privilege scene.
It's probably my favorite scene in the movie, too.
Now, I didn't say it was my favorite.
Oh, okay. Well, and I just showed my hand and said it is.
I was just going to say it's the one that really stuck with me. It was probably the most memorable. And I think when I watched it, I really, really liked it. It was one of my favorites. And then I made the mistake of going online.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's never a good idea. Don't read the comments.
And I read the comments.
Now, I really, at this point, when this movie came out, was not super steeped in the Beavis and Butthead fandom. What were people saying?
It's not like I was super deep either, but I saw enough to know that too many people watched that scene and were like, Oh, yeah, I've got that kind of privilege. That's how it should be.
Oh.
And not seeing the irony, not seeing the comedy, not seeing that they were the ones being made fun of. And it really kind of ruined that for me in a way, because it was like, you are the ones being laughed at and you're too dumb to get it. And these are the fans I'm associating myself with. That kind of hurt.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I really love that scene where it's offering commentary on social issues that have always been relevant, but the words white privilege are a little more recent in the lexicon. So I'm really glad I didn't read those comments, because I would have been really disappointed in our fellow fans too.
Hopefully they were bots.
I sure hope so, and maybe they were.
Yeah. You never know anymore.
You really don't. Isn't that sad?
All I can say is that I know we're not bots, but you know what? That's what a bot would say.
Oh no! How do we prove that we are real?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's a question for another podcast.
Okay. Now, any other things that stick out to you in this one?
You know, I've got a few, and definitely on the rewatch, I think I picked up on a few more.
Yeah.
But I know for sure that one of the words that we started using significantly more in our house after 2022 was the word droll.
Ah, yes, yes. Oh, yes, very droll.
Very droll. I don't know why we in particular latched onto that word from the movie, but we started using it a lot.
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it does stand out. It's not a commonly used word.
Yeah. And they use several other words in that same sort of way, but droll was the one that really stuck out for us, and that was awesome.
So yes, we use that on a fairly regular basis.
And of course, the other thing that I loved, and probably if I were to put up a top 3, it'd be white privilege, droll, and then the Power Kick 3000. Because that scene was built for hilarity, but it was also built for hilarity in a social media clip sharing age. That was an amazing 15-second clip that you could use to promote the movie. It's the one I probably saw the most in the lead up to the movie, even though I was trying to avoid spoilers. I could not avoid that. And I think that says a lot. That's what we probably are drawn to the most in this movie, is Beavis getting kicked in the nuts really hard by a machine. Awesome.
Well, let's face it is awesome.
Yeah, you lead with your strengths.
Yeah, and it does help pick up where classic Beavis and Butt-head left off.
Totally agree with you there. Yeah. Now, how about you? What are some of your favorite moments from this movie? What are some things that stuck out either in the first watch or the rewatch or both?
One thing that's really stuck out both times I was watching this intensely is that Beavis is a little different in here. And going forward a little bit is he's a little more introspective. He's more expressive of his emotions, at least for him.
Right.
And I love the scenes where he's talking with Siri, thinking it's Serena, and getting personal. And aside from the white privilege scene, that's probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
So I really like this side of Beavis, and it just shows, I think it adds contrast to how different Beavis and Butt-head really are, because Beavis can go there. I don't know if Butt-head can. Right. And when Beavis envisions a relationship, well, Butt-head's a unicorn. So he's actually got a little bit of a romantic side to him, Beavis does.
Yeah, and it was really fun to see that come out fully in this movie. That was neat.
Yeah, the original run didn't necessarily go to this level of depth, and so to see it was really welcome and cool and sweet, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. I do have to give a shout out to Tig Notaro as the university professor who teaches Beavis and Butt-head about white privilege.
Fantastic.
She's not Cloris Leachman talking about sluts in Las Vegas, but she's pretty good. I love Tig Notaro and everything she does.
Agreed. Yeah, this didn't ruin her career. Let's put it that way. It accentuated it.
Yeah. And I did mention, there's not a whole lot of star power because it's not Demi Moore and Bruce Willis and Robert Stack in this movie. But there are some notable voice actors to mention here, particularly Gary Cole as Madison.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Gary Cole has done little bits of everything.
Yes.
And then Phil Lamar, who is just all over the place as a voice actor. He plays Flight Specialist Jackson, and shout out to him.
By the way, shout out to you for noticing those things. And I want to make sure our audience knows this difference between you and me.
Oh, yeah?
Shar is a credits reader. I am not.
Yes, I want to know who made these things.
I'm not very good about that, although I am trying to be better about it because I'm married to you.
Hey, I love learning about who wrote what, who was the director, who are the actors. If it's a series, if it's like a TV series, who are the guest stars? And sometimes, especially with an older series where people's careers have taken off since they were on a project, you can see them in one of their earlier roles and you're just like, look at that baby!
Yeah, and I don't appreciate that as much as you do. So shout out to you for shouting out some of the stars of the movie, which is really cool.
And not that anybody else involved in the project wasn't good. Those are just the names and the voices that I know the best.
Right.
That stood out to me.
So before we go, I think we're almost done talking about this movie, but before we end this episode, there are a few things I feel like we can't have a Beavis and Butt-head Do the Universe episode without mentioning.
Okay, and they are?
Some of my favorite pieces of this movie that I think are very much underappreciated. The first one is, and I feel so bad that I forgot this line between the first viewing and this viewing, is the line, "I'm a deer."
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that line.
Did you forget how many times we quoted that after the first time we watched it? Because that made us laugh the hardest more than anything.
That line seriously was the funniest line the first time through. And it definitely held up on second viewing, but I had forgotten it. I had forgotten how much we just latched onto that.
It's hilarious.
And we need to bring it back into our daily lexicon. We just do.
Oh, I need to commission some art of Butthead as the unicorn saying, "I'm a deer." I will hang it on my wall.
Second thing before we go is the poster at Space Camp, the Black Holes poster at Space Camp. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but I noticed it the second time around. That poster is in the impact font, which is like the meme font.
And of course you would notice that.
Yeah, as somebody who teaches a class in this kind of stuff, yeah, I clocked that right away.
Of course you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We're both font nerds, but you got that much faster than I did.
Third of have to mentions on my list is how many times Beavis said fire in the first 15 minutes. They put that shit to bed. They were like, we can say fire with Beavis now. Watch us do it over and over and over and over and over.
Do you think it was excessive?
It was excessive, yeah. I think so. You only need to do it once or twice. They did it like 4 or 5 times, and it was a little much. But at the same time, it was setting the stage for where this is about to go, where this series is about to go, and maybe just kind of a hint that they've been taken off the leash a little bit. And I think the episodes that followed and continue to follow have proven that.
You might be right. This might be reminding folks, hey, we can say fire again. Although in the 2011 reboot, same thing happened.
Sure. And the last thing I feel like we have to mention is the fact that Beavis and or Butthead and or Mike Judge and or the writing crew has watched one of my favorite videos on YouTube, which is combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell.
It's in my head now. How dare you?
If you haven't heard that song, I will warn you it's an earworm.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it. It's so good. And about twice a year, I just have to go to YouTube and listen to it and appreciate it for what it is. But if you didn't get the Pizza Hut Taco Bell combination joke in the movie, go listen to that song. You will get it.
It is funny to realize that that was one of the first things Beavis observed living in a more modern world. alongside smartphones.
Yes. Beavis and Butthead with a smartphone? This is dangerous ground.
Well, this was a kind of a long overdue idea. Like, I remember previews for the 2011 reboot showing Butthead using a cell phone, but those scenes must have gotten cut out of the final episodes or what have you, just because we didn't ever see Beavis and Butthead with a smartphone in the 2011 reboot. So we're going to establish here, oh, you can pay for things on your phone. We're going to buy all the nachos. And that's a great sequence.
Yes, they did a really, really nice job introducing that aspect.
Yes. And much like how Beavis and Butthead Do America had the music video where Beavis is hallucinating in the desert, this has a little bit of a music video element to it as well. So again, it hits a lot of those similar beats in its own fashion, though.
Yeah, anything else before we wrap this episode up that you feel like you have to mention about this movie?
Just that this opened the door for an experience I did not know we needed, which is Beavis and Butthead today. And I'm so grateful that we have it, because living in the hellscape that is the 2020s, I need escapist entertainment, something that makes me laugh, and few things make me laugh as much as Beavis and Butthead. This show gives me so much joy, so I'm so grateful that we have this and had this movie.
Well, now I feel like I have to close with a little bow on my thoughts, too.
Well, snap to it.
I'm going to sum it up for you in like 2 sentences.
Okay, do it.
Which is, I went about 3.5 years between the first time I watched it and the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
It will not take me 3.5 years between my second and third watches. I have a much deeper appreciation for it, I think, and it's going to become part of the rotation.
Nice.
And if you know me, that's the highest honor you can get.
Truly, folks, it is. Well said. And with that, I think that wraps up our discussion on Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. If you want to share with us your thoughts on this movie and how it opened the door to the newest reboot and all the things, or if you just want to say hi, hey, go ahead and do all of that. Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Find us all there at TP For Your Earholes, or go to tpforyourearholes.com, fill out the contact form, and that goes to us directly. So speaking of Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, guess what we're going to do next week? Patrick, do you want to tell them?
Sure. In our real-time world, Season 3 of Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead just came to a close, and we're going to put some thoughts together about the most recent season. That'll be next week.
Yay! I'm so excited we get to do this. Hope you all will tune in for that next time.
Bye, everyone.